I definitely want to talk about indie publishing, and I want to talk about all the marketing you've done because you are, I believe, an indie publishing juggernaut. I'll tell you.
Oh my
So, when,
goodness.
did you was there ever a period where you were querying Sophie Washington, or were you always straight to independent?
I really went straight to independent because I wrote the first two before I got in SCBWI. So I really didn't know what to do at that when I came out with Sophie Washington. Looking back, maybe I would have queried it. I don't know. But I did not query that at all and just came out with it. And what else did you add? I can't remember what you just said.
Oh, I'm famous for my questions that no one can answer. But well, let's so straight to independent. Did you put down some kind of marketing plan in advance? You said this is what I'm going to do, or did you just get going and take
Really,
time?
what really helped me is that I did not have a clear marketing plan. I kind of had a rough draft of what I want to do. But starting out, I just started going to all these events. So of course you can't do that right now, but I attribute that to a lot of my success because I went to the National Black Book Festival here in Houston. That was my first event. And then my community is pretty big. So we have really nice events in my community, and it's a big family suburb here in Houston. So I had a lot of community support for my books because basically Sophie lives in my community. So when the kids would read the books, they would relate to a lot that was going on. And even going to the rodeo, there's something here called mutton busting, where you get on a sheep, like little kids get on a sheep with a helmet on. And so a lot of the kids around here have actually done this kind of, the things that are going on. So they really supported me in my community. And then they would share things on social media. So I think I had a lot of growth just by going to many, many events. I was constantly at farmers markets, festivals, and things. And because I'm in a big city, people just started hearing about the book. I met a lot of teachers and librarians who bought books, took them back to their schools. And then I got press in the Houston Chronicle. I did pitch them, but I really just kind of, and also I do have an MBA in marketing concentration. So I didn't have a straight marketing plan, but it was kind of a loose plan of what I wanted to do starting out but it was mainly focused on events. And then I did some advertisement later with different ebook promo sites and things like that.
Well, for all the would-be indie publisher or would-be indie publishing authors who are listening, who are considering it, I know that this is lessening every year. But there can be a thing where you'll go maybe even just to a bookstore and say, hey, I'd like to hold an event here. And they, you get that, when I'm looking, the nose goes up a bit in indie publish day. So how did you overcome that? How did you pick out specific events that would be a good venue for you and Sophie?
Well, a lot of them were more community-based events. They weren't book events. But I did go to the Texas Book Festival as well. But what happened, and I got Kirkus reviews for a couple of my books, Hurricane and The Gamer. So I had positive reviews, and actually Hurricane was included in one of their magazines, and only like 10% of the indie books are chosen for that. So that gave me a little more credibility with the librarians and things. So I mean, they would do that because I went in one bookstore. Now here's a really funny story. Because one of my local bookstores, they did carry my book on consignment for a time. And then they said, they sent it back to me after a while. But I went there to an event with, for Hair Love, the author of Hair Love, and the illustrator. And so while I was in line, and it was wonderful. It was so neat to meet him. It was before he won the Oscar for Hair Love. And so for the Hair Love short. One of the little girls in line said, oh, you wrote Sophie Washington. Oh, and then she had my book and wanted me to sign it. So that was just such a great time. But
yeah, hire her, get her to follow you around.
Yeah, come on. But I mean, it hasn't been easy, and then the bad part, like I told you before we started filming, is I had just gotten accepted into Barnes and Noble, and then they were going to let me do an event there. And then of course the pandemic came, but it's really kind of like just beating on that door and continuing to do that until they let you in. I've had plenty of rejection, but any author, whether you're traditionally published or independently published, is going to have that rejection. So I really just believed in my book. I knew that children enjoyed them and that they were learning from them. They were happy with the story, and it was encouraging them to read. So I just would not stop going back. I mean, I have been rejected from some, and I just would go back. Really, that's what. And then eventually, when they would see that I was selling or whatever, they would let me in.
So if I'm a snooty venue owner that says, "Oh, not our sort or sport," how would you pursue me? How would you convince me to let you come and present at the event?
But I've never really been turned down from an actual event. I don't think that I've gone to. It's been more bookstores that I wanted to carry the book.
Oh, that's interesting. So the events are fine. It's just it's the bookstores.
Yeah, because all the events I went to different little community events. I really was never turned down from any. And a lot of times I'd be the only book. These weren't purely bookish events. These were like festivals and things like that. And then, of course, at the Texas Book Festival, I was not a presenter. I was in the exhibition hall with the exhibitors. So I wasn't a presenter there. But then I've tried to get in one in Kentucky, and they did not accept my book. But I just keep trying. I don't think even all traditionally published authors are accepted to everything.
No, unfortunately, if you're an author at any level and however you publish, whatever you've written about, somebody somewhere will make you feel bad about it. That's just the name of the game.
Yeah. But I guess it's been a lot of work, but it's a labor of love, and I just enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm happy with my books and characters, and that keeps me going through the ups and downs that all writers face. And I think just going to SCBWI meetings, I don't get to all of them, but even when I'm looking at the virtual events, learning, I just feel like those are my people, the writers, and I'm happy in that environment. So that encourages me to continue as well.